David Baffer, an orphan in his late teens, is given a letter by his late father to travel to Edinburgh in order to deliver a message to Ebenezer, his uncle. Upon reaching this city, he goes to the House of Shaws, a dark and mysterious house where his uncle resides. When he meets him, David believes that his uncle is hiding something, supposedly that the house is rightfully his inheritance. They travel to a pier on the Firth of Forth, and Captain Hoseason, the captain of the ship the Covenant, invites David to board the ship and look around. Upon boarding the ship, though, he is knocked unconscious by the sailors. Waking, he finds that the captain plans to sell him into slavery. One day, on a ship, they find one survivor named Alan Breck Stewart. David overhears Hoseason planning to murder the stranger in order to obtain all his money, and David warns him of this. The sailors and Hoseason attack, but Alan and David fight together and end up victorious. The ship comes up upon the torn rocks. Although initially thought to be navigable, the ship strikes a reef and wrecks. David is washed overboard onto an islet. After recovering from the wreck, David learns that Alan survived and left him instructions to go towards Torosay. He travels to Torosay, and on the way, an important man is shot and killed, and David is forced to flee. He reunites with Alan, though, and the two flee the area, for now both of them have a price on their head, being suspected as conspirators. They hide from search parties by day and travel by night. Being exhausted and tired, the two find Clooney MacPherson, a friend of Alan's. David catches a sickness, though, and while he's healing from this, Alan plays cards with Clooney, losing all of his and David's money. This sparks a rage in David towards Alan, and the two continue on their journey with Alan attempting to lighten the mood, but failing and instead insulting him. Finally, David falls sick once again, and his anger climaxes. He challenges him to a sword duel, which Alan cannot bring himself to do. David's sickness takes over again, and Alan carries him to the nearest house. After healing, they continue on their journey and arrive near Edinburgh. David goes to visit Mr. Rankeeler, the lawyer of Ebenezer, learning that David is the rightful owner of the House of Shaws. In order to find the truth of his kidnapping as well, they go visit Ebenezer. Cunningly interrogating Ebenezer, Alan, David, and Mr. Rankeeler find out that Ebenezer paid Hoseason to kidnap and send him into slavery. And Mr. Rankeeler and Ebenezer compromise, where both David and Ebenezer own part of the house. The story ends with Alan and David parting ways, Alan returning to France, and David going to a bank to settle his new inheritance.